we've got is some top international fighters with Mr. Tadisi there. So it's going to be a real interesting first group.
Now, with your vast years of experience as well, when you look at this, would you like to be in Group 1? Would you like to get out there first, get it over with, get those nerves out of the way?
It's different. I mean, I think what happens is that they compartmentalise the way that they prepare during the round. So if they know they're on second, they'll start their preparation in order. So it's really down to the fighters. But what's clear is that these 8 fighters will be ready, be under no illusion.
And as you see as well, the 2 young ladies from the Super 8 Cup, another innovation, and it's great to see the women now being celebrities and stars in their own right as well. We'll have in each group 2 ladies from the Super 8 fighting off to get straight into the semi-final. Another innovation.
Absolutely fantastic. Joe and Paul understand the way that Olympic karate is moving. The ladies and the men are just as equal in their ability and in their performance. And that's what we need to see. Karate represented across the board.
Now, Greg, 9 times out of 10, karate is always preceded by the terms traditional. But look at that entrance. We've got a guy on stilts. They really are bringing it into the 21st century and making it so exciting as a format to watch.
We are an Olympic sport. We've got to look at the way other sports have progressed with that Olympic model in mind and take what's best for karate.
So, Greg, our first 2 to the mats, Jordan Thomas and Steve Kawachinski, who I think you trained.
Yeah, and that's Steve from my former association. Jordan, of course, I was a coach when I was on the national, was one of the national coaches. And our man Jordan, of course, is the current world champion. So
I was just about to say, Greg, Jordan must be one of the pre-tournament favourites for this on form alone.
Unquestionably. Unquestionably. I suppose the only thing you've got to consider is that Jordan is one of the lighter fighters in the tournament. So that's where it's going to be, if there's going to be any difficulties arise, that's where it will be.
That's worth mentioning. This is 32 men, £10,000, an open tournament. You've just got to go for it. But with that in mind, I mean, someone like Jordan, what he takes to it instead is obviously that speed and mobility and movement. Speed,
mobility, angles, dexterity, that's what he's got to maximise, especially when he's fighting the guys that are heavier. As you can see there, Steve's a little bit longer and he's just measuring up Jordan. But Jordan's got the speed. Lovely Gakazuki there from Jordan.
And that's what we were mentioning, wasn't it?
That's
Having to utilise that speed.
Jordan's got to go first, as simple as that. He's got to go first. If he waits, then he's going to run onto Steve's technique. He's got to go first.
And again, 2017, Jordan had all that experience there as well. And I feel for him as one of the pre-tournament favourites. Oh. It couldn't be a better start to come in and open Group 1.
Very
Get
much
it out
so.
of the way.
He's going to set the bar for everybody, Jordan. Nice, another nice point scored there by Jordan. He's really focused. You can see that. Steve is just starting to get himself warmed up. But he's got to put Jordan under more pressure.
Now, the one thing I will say, because of the karateka and the way they compete over a year, the tournament mode is something they're very used to, weren't they? So in terms of nerves like that, it's not something that will get you. This is what they do week in, week out, isn't it?
It is. I think the only thing that may cause them nerves is the race stage and the close proximity of the audience. But they won't be thinking about that now. Nice movement there from Jordan. Nice movement.
He's looked to put Steve under pressure from the start, hasn't he?
He has to. He has to. He really does. Good. That's Jordan. Beautiful front hand there. Beautiful front hand.
Now, we saw last year at 2017 that the fighters that tended to start fast seemed to build up a rhythm and get better as they went along. Definitely. This bodes well for Jordan, doesn't it? This sort of start.
Karate competition now is about the first one to score. So once you get that initiative, it's important that you understand exactly how to hold on to those points and to build on them. And that's clearly what Jordan can do.
Now, if you're in Steve's corner, what would you like to see him do? Because he's under real pressure, Greg.
What he needs to do is that he needs to actually use his range more. He needs to use his range more and cut down the area on Jordan. He needs to cut the area down. Jordan is commanding the centre of the mat, and Steve's the bigger fighter. He should be moving more towards the centre of the mat and trying to dominate it more and cut the areas off. But Jordan is actually dominating the area, which is great gameplay from Jordan. Another point there, he's notched them up.
And he's not allowed Steve, for want of a better term, to bully him, has he? He's really come straight in.
Absolutely not. He's using his assets. He's using his speed, he's using his angles, and he's using his dexterity to notch them points up. I think he might be on 7 now. One more point and he's won.
And again, he seems light on his feet. He seems happy. It's a great way to start. And then what will he do? He'll go straight back and just refocus.
Yeah,
and
that's it. His dad's here. His dad's here. Willie, Hong Kong coach, former England coach. Brilliant there. Again, Jordan just hit with a triple kick there.
And Greg, he is oozing confidence at the moment.
He's flying. He's flying. No score. Missed the punch and the kick clearly. Steve needs to really start moving. He's standing statically and look at Jordan. Jordan's still good to go. He's ready to pick him up, pick him off.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to go out in a tournament like this, it's worth going out really just going for it, isn't it? You can't afford...
Definitely. That's what you need to do. You need to be on your toes as well when you're fighting a lightweight like Jordan. You cannot be static. And it's clear that Steve is struggling with the pace of the fight. He needs to really pick it up.
And as you say that, Jordan's got through. Now, looking at him, as I said, we mentioned his credentials already, his pedigree. You've got to look at Jordan now and say he's on fire right from the start. He's done really well here, hasn't he?
Jordan is fighting like a world champion. He understands what he needs to do, and he tailored his fight to score the first point and then consolidate those points.
So as you heard our MC say, in the red, Jerome Brown, in the blue, Joe Rawcliffe. And again, we mentioned that for me, one of the things I've noticed with the 10K, it really is becoming, well, karate as well, a young athlete sport, Greg.
Oh, without a doubt. They've got the time to train. They've got, it's so much more athletic now. And to be honest, they are the future. So they know how to actually find the time to train with college and university, and they're accommodated in those environments.
Now, they're waiting to go on the mats. Would they have had a good look at the first bout, or they have not been interested?
It depends. Some people like to watch, others are not interested. They just want to focus on their own fight. So it's very much down to the individual. Jerome was a top junior. He got a medal in the European Championships as a junior. He may have been caught napping there. It was a beautiful hook kick there by Joe.
And that's the other thing about modern karate. We see that so often in the 10K, the hooking kicks, the spinning kicks. I mean, we've got Rene Smile later who wowed everybody every time he comes through like that.
Very much so. Again, good movement though from both fighters. Joe is one of the KGB fighters, I understand, and again, good experience. He's fought internationally for their England team, and he's giving Jerome a run for his money. And
this is the other thing, Greg, that really excites me. It crosses associations, the 10K. So stylistically, how does that affect a fighter when you're used to fighting within your organisation or your association, then you come to this and you look at all the different faces?
The more the merrier, Malcolm. The more fighters you have from across what you're available to fight, the better you're fighting. And that's what we in England need. We need to have as many fighters as possible from across all the associations fighting each other. And that way it will raise our standard, and we get the mat time domestically to actually make our international performances better.
Now with Jerome and Joe here, it is split second this. As I said, they're both light, they're both quick off the mark. Jerome just edging it, but it is that instantaneous between the two. And again,
he's
Joe looking for that hook.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting caught by Joe's hook kick. Joe has got great timing with that, and he's kicking from very close to Jerome, so Jerome's not even responding to it.
And he's got it as well,
yeah,
Greg.
He's got it, so Jerome has got to now put his foot on the pedal. Good, it's a very, very, very tight fight here. Different styles of fighting. Jerome's quite a solid fighter, so he likes to sweep. He likes to take down, whereas Joe, he's really clearly a very good kicker.
And again, compared to the first bout we saw, much more back and forward this one. Whereas we felt that Jordan really put the pressure on in the first one. These two guys are not allowing that momentum to build up, are they?
Not at all. They are very evenly matched, and that is just healthy for karate, that we've got people at this standard actually pushing each other to that next level.
And Jerome coming back at Joe Rawcliffe now, and this one very tight indeed.
It is indeed.
Like you said, Joe Rawcliffe's legs, this is what the crowd want to see. Every time he throws that hook kick, the crowd go wild.
Because they can see just how good he can deliver that technique. He can deliver it almost chest forward with Jerome. So that's great athleticism. And he's kicking around the back of the head as opposed to the side of the head. So the technique's not seen till too late.
Well, that's the thing, Greg, the term now, and it's used regularly and naturally. Listen to the crowd. Beautiful. They absolutely love the 10K. They are athletes. And everybody says, all the while in the build-up, it's the athletes, and we're accepting that now because they are.
But these athletes marry up art and athleticism very well, so their core karate is also very, very good. Jerome just scored a beautiful takedown, and that's what he's known for. He's able to take people down when they're kicking, whether they're punching, and that's what Joe is finding out. He'll now have to watch his lines and his fight when he's fighting Jerome, so that he doesn't get taken down like that again.
Well, we thought there might be daylight for Joe Rawcliffe. Jerome's turned it around again, but that's the whole nature of this bout, and it's just the opening round bout. It's incredible.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. He's got to make sure he stays on it. He's don't lose his focus now, Jerome. Can't be taking any more of those warnings. That's it. Nice punch. Good timing. Joe now needs to refocus, and get himself back into the game. He's lost seems to have lost a bit of confidence there, and he just needs to get his focus.
When you say about confidence, Greg, you saw it in one simple thing. That was the first hook kick that was off range, off target, and he didn't throw absolutely wonderfully. That's the pressure, isn't it?
But it is, because you then get a measure of your opponent. You get a measure of your opponent and what you're able to hit him with. Good ideas there from Jerome. He's now just trying to keep it settled and to get his distance. Good. Yeah, good punch there from Jerome.
And he's pulling the trigger that split second earlier than Joe, keeping that pressure on him.
That's it, and probably didn't score that one because the punch wasn't quite long enough, but his timing's good. Jerome's timing's good, so he just needs to settle into the fight, recognise that Joe's got to attack him and just time him off, hit him with either Kazami, a jab, or with a body punch. And he's in the right stance, that's it, just like that. But Joe, but Jerome's got his referee and he's fighting. He should just concentrate on the fight, keep his eye on the opponent, otherwise he could possibly put himself in a difficult situation.
Yes, as you said, he looked over to the scoreboards and was actually looking at his opponent and telling them what they should be doing. Incredible stuff. And
too many points have been lost just through that momentary lack of concentration. Okay, the referees are not going to score your points if you haven't got your eyes on the fighter.
Well, very interesting this one, Greg. And
good
Jerome
match,
took it,
match.
But he had to work, didn't he?
He did
really
have to work.
And
he took a while to get going, to get Joe's distance, but clearly you can feel that Jerome is now just feeling his way into the fight. Joe will have to go back, speak to his coach, identify what he'll do right and wrong as well there.
Moving on, group number 1, match 3, we'll see Johnny Gilmore face Ali Nioni.
So next up in red, Johnny Gilmore, Ali Nioni in blue. And they'll have seen two very good opening bouts, as we said, if they decided to watch or if they were just relaxing. But it really is bubbling now, Greg.
It is. It's really sort of gaining momentum now. Johnny, really good international there. They're both the same weight. I understand that Ali's down from Bath Way, from Southwest. He's a Zimbabwean international, so he's got the experience there. So it's going to be an interesting match.
The thing we can see immediately, though, is, unlike the first two bouts, a real height difference between the two here. Very much more compact, Ali.
Definitely, but I don't think there's too much of a difference in weight, so they've got to work out pretty quickly how they're going to fight their opponent. Johnny needs to work his distance, so he needs to make sure that he is able to work his length. Ali needs to really start moving around a bit more and break the line, so he's able to actually cut down the angles that he's fighting Johnny at. Good, as you can see there, Johnny used great time in there and his distance.
Well, that's the problem for Ali. You mentioned it's the distancing. When he gets into far off his work, if Johnny's timing is right, it's going to be a hard night for him, isn't it?
Yeah, he can't be going straight. He's got to go from a line. So that means breaking off and then attacking. Otherwise, Johnny will pick him up. He's a season fight, as he's just done there again. So he's got his timing is very good, and his target.
And again, psychologically, Greg, to be on fire and getting your timing early and everything else going right early really bodes you well as you go through these knockout stages.
Definitely. And what you've also got is a fighter in Johnny who has got good composure. You don't seem fluttered by anything. He's very level in his movement and in his expression. Very measured. Got great composure.
And again, Ali very busy. But for me at the moment, for Ali, it's about range and timing. It's not quite there.
Definitely is. I mean, Johnny's is better, but both of them are missing a lot of opportunities. I mean, Malcolm, fundamentally, you need target, you need timing, you need technique, you need intensity. More or less in that order. And they need to really, there's a lot of intensity there, but they're missing the target, and their timing is just a little bit off, especially with Ali. Johnny's is good with his front hand, but he's relying on it a bit too much. He's longer, and he's got to actually maximise that distance with his legs and hands.
Now Ali looking
again,
to the judges there, but it looks like Johnny's going to get the point once more. No.
Yep, no point scored there.
Probably the tightest of the three opening rounds so far.
Definitely the tightest.
And Greg, is it for the reasons you've said? Both men just slightly off with their timing at the moment.
Slightly off with their timing and their target. Target is the most important thing. No matter how good your timing is, if your target's wrong, you're going to miss. So their targeting must be much more clinical and much more focused. And then the timing and all the other stuff will make a difference. But they're missing their target to get in. They're throwing a lot of techniques, but the actual delivery at the last point is just not right. It could just be first fight nerves, so that's fine. But this is not an environment to have first fight nerves.
No, not that sort of environment at all. As you said earlier,
that's
the way it's set up and everything, and with the raised tatami mat and the crowd so close, you've got to come to terms with that straight away, haven't you?
Very much so. You've got to just literally have been warmed up, mentally in the right place, and good to go. Every fight is a final. If you think like that, then your mind will be in the right way. You can't be thinking first round, second round, semi-final. With the quality of the opponents here, every fight's a final. And the ability to maintain that sort of level of concentration is important. Again, punches thrown, Ali is throwing wildly, they're missing his target. Again, great intensity, poor focus. He needs to look for his target, and referee's warned him there, and hit it. He just needs to settle down. If his coaches need to settle him down and just get into focus.
Well, you mentioned about how cool Johnny Gilmore is. The lead referee looked to see his face. He was okay. And he just winked at him and said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Cool as they come.
He is composed. He's a composed fighter. He knows what he's doing. I mean, he could literally just be waiting now for Ali to come. Ali's going to come, and he could time him out of a good body punch. But he's actually just looking to score head punches. He needs to hit to the body. Ali's going to come. He can do that cleanly.
Well, he took it, but as I said, probably the most difficult of the rounds so far for either man. And he will have, as much as you said, that he's cool and you really think he's a good prospect. He's got to step up his game next round, hasn't he?
Yes, he definitely has. He needs to just get find his target down. His timing was fine. It's the target that he fell a little bit short on there.
But that's also part of the art, Greg. If you're not quite firing on all cylinders, but you still win, it's that momentum again, isn't it?
And that's the composure. That's the importance of composure when you're fighting. Even if it's not going well, you win. It's like the best football teams.
Well, our final Group 1 now is Yves Martial Tadisi and Devontae Walters. Now, either of these young men you could see as the semi-finalist. I mean, this is a great, just this matchup sums up the 10K, and this is the first round, Greg.
Definitely. I mean, the great quality in Eves there. Jordan beat him in the World Championship final, but Eves has got tremendous experience, and Devontae will have to come out the blocks like Usain Bolt, which he has done, so he's clearly up for it.
And again, body shapes, they're virtually identical, aren't they? And I'm not saying the weight's the same, but the actual distribution of the weight.
Very much
similar.
so. Yeah, they've got very much a classic karate frame there, with shoulders, slim waist and long legs. So very good in that regards. But I think Devontae is heavier than him, and therefore he should try and make him feel his weight a bit more focus on body shots. That's good. That's very good. His timing's good there.
Now both men went to pull the trigger, no score. It's
just probably a little bit too short with a punch there, Malcolm.
And again, Greg, you mentioned in previous rounds how important it is to sometimes, when neither of you is scoring, to maybe come off the line. What do you mean by that?
Just literally just to come off the line, so as soon as the referee calls you, you just drive straight in. It's a technique that has been used since competition karate started, but it's when to use it that's important. I think they're just shaking off a little bit of a first round rust now, and they're starting to now get a feel of the fight and their timing of each fighter. And you can see Tadisi's moving well, he's moving around the mat, he doesn't seem particularly worried. Again, he swept him. He didn't think about sweeping him until he had swept him. You're not going to score like that. If you're sweeping, you've got to follow straight through and believe that they're going to go. Otherwise, you're going to miss the opportunity. So that's 3 points he's missed there. And for a man of his experience, he should really have been following straight back Malcolm.
There was clearly that pause, Greg.
Yeah,
we could see it from here very clearly. That pause. Then he went down, but the moment was lost.
Too late. You've just got to believe they're going and follow straight through.
But again, warning signs for Devontae
definitely.
When he's coming in.
Well, Tadisi's kicking, he's punching, and he's sweeping. So Devontae has got to maybe think about his stances. If he swept him, maybe fighting to change stance, so that it's unlikely to be just as good sweeping in the opposite stance and fight him that way.
Now, we mentioned the last round being tense. This is even tighter. This is even closer between these two.
Very much so. It is tight. I mean, they are actually fighting very sharp, but they're missing targets. Again, Tadisi needs to just concentrate, get his points.
Well, that was Devontae's there.
Very good point from Devontae.
Now, when you get through that first round and you go back to the coach, if you were the coach, Greg, what would you be saying? Would you be saying, look, let's sort these timing issues out, let's sort this movement issues out? You've got through that first round. How do you keep their confidence up but sort out the problems?
Malcolm, as a coach, I'm a great believer in less is more. The more you tell the fighter, the less they take on. So you've got to be very bespoke about what you tell your fighter. And sometimes might just be saying to them, settle down. And then that might be enough for the next round. You know what they can do. They've got through the fight. You want to ensure that they've got their head right first. And then you look for the points. Look for walking them through the points.
Well, Devontae Waters in ascendancy at the moment, and Tadisi really looking to put him under pressure. But again, not quite working at the moment, Greg.
He just seems to be lacking just that last bit of sharpness at the end to DC. Yes, that was lazy, and that was a very good point. Devontae anticipated that back leg, that sweep, and just nicked the point. Very sharp.
When you say anticipated, he came off that centre line nicely just to work the angle.
Exactly,
Shot,
but it was a bit of a lazy attempt by Eves there, and Devontae just punished him for it. Again, great kick there from Devontae. Again, it needed to be a little bit longer. He's a long guy. It could have been a longer kick there, but the timing was tremendous.
And as you said, when you look at the quality of this competition, every round's the final. And
what it does, it brings up the fighters, especially our domestic fighters. It makes them raise their game when they're coming up against these top Europeans, and it just enables us to start seeing what talent we have and how much important for us to invest in them. Great fight there by Devontae. I'm really pleased with that fight.
And big support for him, Greg. You can hear the crowd. He's brought a lot of people tonight.
He's South London's finest. He's brought them in to the max. They drove straight past Anthony Joshua, straight to here to the Trotsy to support him. Wonderful.
Beautiful stuff there. So we've got into the next round, and for me, the next round, Jordan Thomas, Jerome Brown, on paper, superb, because these two, out of all of them, they both started fast, they both started on fire, and they had got their timing and rhythm right.
Definitely, and to add fuel to the fire, they knew each other as juniors. They knew each other as juniors, so there's going to be some real intensity here. Let's ensure that they've got targeted timing and technique as well.
And we saw there Jerome looking to start, but Jordan's so fast with that lead leg in reply.
He really has. Jordan's got tremendous athleticism. He has got more than his fair share of fast switch muscles, Jordan. Jerome's got to watch that, because Jordan will kick him before he blinks.
Yes, Jerome, he settled well, but he did take a bit of time, whereas Jordan was right into the pocket straight away, wasn't he?
Definitely, he's well prepared. He's buoyed by his dad being here. He's had been great training. He's been training at the Team GB camp for the last 3 months. He's good to go.
And when you look at attitude, how much does that play? Because Jordan is at the moment exuding confidence as well, and when you're looking across at him, it's not so much arrogance, but there is that sort of like, I know what I'm doing, I'm really happy here. How does that affect you psychologically?
What it means is that he knows his place. He knows he's a top fighter in the world at his weight category, and he's saying, even at an open weight category, I can show you, I can beat you. Karate is about skill. It's not about weight, it's about skill. And he can fight smart enough to win this, but it's not going to be easy.
Well, when you say smart, what I like about Jordan is he knows when to put the pressure on. He knows when to turn it up, doesn't he? We saw that in the first round. Turned it up and turned it up to the point that Steve had to get desperate with those hooking kicks.
So true, Malcolm. What you've got with Jordan is someone who knows how to tailor his fight for the individual he's in front of. He is never bouncing around in front of anybody heavier than him. He won't be there. Yeah, he won't be there. What he has got in Jerome, though, is someone who can sweep you from any angle, no matter what technique you've done. And that's where Jerome has got to be at.
And you could hear the crowd respond to that, Greg. They went absolutely mental when Jerome did that.
Because they know what Jerome's like. They know his capability. He can take you down everywhere. So Jordan has to stick to his game plan. He cannot be in front of Jerome. If he's in front of Jerome and hasn't scored, he will be on his backside.
So a warning there for Jordan Thomas. But as you said, these top athletes, they'll adapt, and you hope not make the same mistake again once they've been warned like that. He's got
to do what he does best. He's got to hit without being hit. He can't be in front of his opponent. Jerome is heavier than him. Jerome puts his hands on him, he will take him down. So he has to make sure that if he's in the zone, if he's in Jerome's fighting area, he has scored. He cannot stay there. If he missed, he will pay. So he has to stay on his toes, Jordan. As you can see, Jerome's there going for a sweep. He's always looking for that sweep. Look at him, always.
And it's a different dynamic in this second bout because Jordan was coming forward the whole time in the previous bout. This time, a lot more lateral movement, a lot more waiting for the right timing. So Jerome, in his own way, has put the subtle pressure on Jordan this bout.
Jordan knows that Jerome has got great takedown skills, great timing, and he's committed with them. So he will not miss an opportunity to take you down. So Jordan's got to stick to what he does best. He has to keep moving and steal those points. He has to keep moving, and this is now where he can make the difference. He's got to now, as Jerome's fitness starts catching up with him now, Jordan has got to now start racking up them points. This is now where he can start changing things around in this part of the fight, try and get back into it.
The other thing that I've been amazed at over the years of the 10K Karate Clash is that one of the other attributes has to be a certain level of patience as well, knowing, as you said, when the split-second timing is so vital, the patience to know when to throw that technique as well.
So true, so true. You know, you can't rush in karate. You rush, you'll pay the price.
Even
Jordan,
when you're behind on the scorecard, Greg,
you've got to look. You've got to look for your opportunity. You've got to look for your opportunity. Good fight, very, very good fight. Great styles, and what you saw there, Malcolm, was great sort of like contrast in karate fighting. someone who's got great movement, knows how to take a point in Jordan, and Jerome, great takedown skills, who will unsettle any fighter because they know that he can take them down irrespective of what technique they're throwing.
Jordan had to grind that victory out, didn't he, this time?
He did. But he showed his class. He showed the difference that full-time full-time training can make to you, that you can know that you've got enough in the tank to push through.
Now this one's interesting, Greg, because Devontae and Johnny will be both similar stylistically, tall, lean, laid back and loose. They're almost like a mirror image as they line up
Very
here.
much so. But Malcolm, the important thing psychologically is the first point. Your head's got to be in the right space to score that first point. And it can't just be hit and hope. You've got to have an idea how to score. And that was beautifully fast, but he missed his target again. You know, that would have scored because Devontae did not react. That should have scored. And again, very, very important. As his coach, I'll be taking him, getting them pads and getting him to work that kick. Speed is great, target slightly off.
And again, we saw in the first round, I mentioned that patience. That's Johnny Gilmore, isn't it? He'll wait,
Yeah.
he'll look for you to come on, he'll give you the little signals, try to lure you on to pick you off.
That's it. Great composure, but maybe not doing enough there. There's just been warned there for not working hard enough and working continuously. So now we're going to see them have to pick it up and look for those points. Again, I'm a great believer. If you can duck, you can punch. You can train yourself to actually punch on most of those aspects where you can duck. It's just retraining yourself to do what used to always be done.
Certain techniques transcend disciplines, don't they?
They do.
When you duck, and a punch is a punch is a punch.
Exactly.
And if you make him miss with the duck, you can bring it to the body underneath.
Exactly, Malcolm. Good exchange there. No score, not clear enough from either fighter. Again, what you're seeing there is good composure from Johnny. Devontae's hunting him down, but you sense that Johnny's always going to have some sort of answer to whatever he's going to come with. So good step through there, good step through.
But the other thing I love, Greg, as well, as we go through the rounds, you can genuinely, legitimately feel the pressure build up on the athletes.
Definitely, Malcolm. And they have to ensure that whatever they're feeling is not projected to their opponent, because a good opponent will pick it up pretty quickly. So the job of a good coach is to ensure their fighter stays level and focused, so that no nervous energy compromises their fight. Really important. That's the job of a good coach. Ensure that they are continually steady and focused.
And again, in this group, we have had so many tense confrontations. They're very, very close indeed. Is that just the overall level of competition, or is it that pressure, Greg?
Part of it is the weight category, so we've got a number of them who are very similar sort of weights, but also it's just the experience of the athletes. They're very well experienced. They know how to win. Well, again, good point there. Again, a hook and stab that used to be called in the old days. Touch the front leg, distract him downstairs. Kizamizuki, jab to the face. Beautiful punch. Devontae didn't see it. Devontae's now got to really start putting some pressure on, because Johnny is now looking to consolidate that. Good point again. Good timing. Johnny went at the right time, but was too far out there. And Devontae just leaned back and then came back in. Great point.
That was a bit of a shame for Johnny. Did all the right things, and then just that bit too hasty, just that bit off balance, and Devontae immediately responded.
Definitely, and what he was is just a little bit out of distance when he made that attack. So it just fell too short. And all Devontae did was ride the technique and come back with a beautiful return Kizamizuki front hand punch. So he needs to keep doing that, Devontae. He's got great hands. He just needs to maintain that. Again, well done, Devontae. Devontae's doing the right thing. He's carrying on fighting. He's not refereeing and fighting. Johnny needs to stay focused. Again, referee's awarded him for that.
And this is tight as tight can be.
Good point there.
probably the tightest bout so far.
Definitely, definitely.
But Johnny Gilmore takes it.
He does.
To meet Jordan Thomas.
Again. Great fight by the pair of them there. Very tight, but Johnny's composure got him through that. He just knew where he was at all times during that fight. He'll have to take up another gear now for the next round.
And now, Greg, for the first time in the 10K Karate Clash history, we have the Super 8 Ladies Karate Cup with Amelia Harvey in the red corner, Kate Kawachinski in the blue, who I think is the twin sister of Stephen.
That's correct, yeah. They've been doing karate since they were very, very young, 4 or 5, very focused fighters. Kawachinskis, Amelia again, experienced fighters. Both these girls are the best of what Britain has. We've got a great lineup of the ladies in this tournament, and it's going to be good to see. Got the pleasure of training Kate. She's coming back from injury, just getting herself going again, and it's great to see. She's one of the top-ranked WKF fighters, and she's got tremendous ability, winning medals as a junior and now coming into the senior ranks. Amelia, great engine on her, great timing, but again, needs to stay focused if she's going to win this fight.
And the Super 8's a sprint. You win your group stage, you're into that semi-final immediately.
Yeah, you're into the hot tub straight away. So there's no room for error there. It's good to see the ladies fight, and it really is. It's just to show the skill, how transferable the skill element is. Kate has got to watch those running punches. She's got to make sure that she keeps all those lead-up punches on target, otherwise she's going to get caught with a counter. So she's got to keep even the lead-up ones, which are like the feints, they must be on target so that she can make the opening for the final punch. Amelia needs to get her timing right. Again, she's going second against someone who is moving quicker than her. So she has got to, if she's going to do that, she'll have to pull out Kate and then score. Pull her out. As you can see, Kate is great on her feet, great movement. But again, punching and stopping, she needs to not be there.
Yes, and as I said, history being made with these ladies, the first 2 ladies from this Super 8. Incredible stuff here tonight. And it's just great to see them on such a big stage in this arena. Greg.
Very great and very good. And these two are very evenly matched. Very evenly matched. Kate needs to be out of there. She's punching and she's staying inside. She needs to actually punch and be away again, stepping through, but missing that target. Amelia needs to change things around a bit. Good point.
Oh, the gum shield goes there.
Good point.
For Kate Kawachinski.
Amelia's getting a little bit frustrated. She just needs to settle down, and try and actually work out the fight. She's just fighting. She's not fighting. That's better. Again, Kate is reffing and fighting. She needs to stay in front of the opponent, keep her eye on the opponent. Again, a very bad habit for some of the fighters.
And we've seen that tonight, haven't we, Greg?
Yeah, they're thinking the wrong things. They need to just concentrate on who's in front of them, not who's wearing the grey trousers.
And you mentioned that frustration, Amelia shaking her head there as she went back. She's not quite in the zone, is she?
She is, and she shouldn't be projecting that either. She should just internalise that, because it can just buoy your opposition. Again, Kate, again, good timing, but good and good kick.
And she knew it, Greg, as well.
Did. Beautiful kick.
And that stems from that frustration of Amelia, because she's tending just to rush her work when she gets in close.
Very, very good observation there, Malcolm. She is. And that's what means she needs to settle. She's an experienced fighter. She needs to settle, and she needs to have just nicked those points and just build them up.
Well, Kate goes through, Greg, and by the end, emphatically so.
Great fight by Kate. Little bit messy, but scored the points when she needed them. Great to see. Amelia needs to dust herself down and just get a little bit more focused on her fights.
So, the Group 1 final, Greg, you're at the semi-final stage. You're that close to £10,000. And probably the two men that deserve to be there have got there.
I would say they have been the sharpest. I would say that they have been the sharpest in the group. It's going to be very, very, very good fight. Whoever gets that first point, Malcolm, that's what it's going to be about. That's whoever gets that first point. So they've got to think smart. They've got to look for their point, and when opportunity comes, they must take it.
Well, what I love about this one, Greg, is you've got that laid-back nature almost of Johnny Gilmore and that explosive speed and power coming forward of Jordan Thomas. You've got that contrasting styles there.
Definitely, that's exactly what you have. But what you also have, mutual respect. These guys know that they respect each other. They know each other's ability. And Johnny has no interest in what Jordan's won and what he hasn't won. He just is there because he believes that he's going to beat Jordan. And Jordan knows that, and he's going to show why he's world champion. So it's going to be a tight fight. That first fight's going to make all the difference, that first point. So sit back and enjoy, Malcolm.
And then once you've got through this round, you are just two potential bouts away from life-changing money. And I've talked to the previous winners, Greg. It is life-changing when you're an athlete.
Oh, 10K, it enables you to make some real decisions about what you want to do with your karate career. It enables you to invest in competitions, invest in equipment, invest in coaching, all the investments that you need to take yourself to where you want to go and find out your ability. In the absence of the structures that provide that money, it enables you to actually focus on what you want to do.
Real cat and mouse, this one. So much at stake at this point in the group stage.
Very much so, Malcolm. But Jordan just seems to have good focus here. He just seems to be in the right space. I think the time he's been away with Team GB in Manchester has just given him even that additional confidence that he's always had, just that little bit more. And what he needs to do is maximise that now. That time he's had away, full-time training, he's got to bring that to play. Again. Good fault.
And this time, Greg, he did, like you said, he didn't look to the judges or the referees to say that point scored. He just kept going.
Exactly. It makes all the difference, Malcolm. Just keeps his eye on his opponent, and he just looks to take the point. Okay, the referees are not going to hit you. So you've got to keep your eye on who the person who's got the hands and legs and they're aiming them at you. Good movement there from Johnny. But again, timing that he's got to move out the way, but timing that he's got to actually deliver a technique as they come onto him. So he's got to start engaging and maximising every opportunity. Again, look at the movement. Look out. Johnny's controlling the middle of the mat. Jordan is quite happy moving around. Lovely exchange there. I can't even say who was first there. I'll leave that to the referees.
Well, it looks like they're split as well on this. Yeah. There's different flags being held up there, Greg.
Yeah, that was very, very sharp, very fast. Let the referees do their job. Fair enough. Good point. Saying too much contact there from Johnny and point from Jordan.
And it's now so tight, this one, Greg.
Well, he needs to pick it up now. That's what he needs to do, because this is where you're going to see the difference. Like when they start fighting, the more you bounce and do nothing, the closer the fight. Sometimes you just need to open up and find out what your opponent's got. Because if I bounced around with my sister for 2 minutes, she might score on me. Yeah, you've got to let the techniques go. That's it. That's what Jordan needs to do. He needs to let the techniques go.
We've seen throughout this group that when the timing's necessary, he finds it, doesn't he?
He does.
That's the one thing that's probably separated him from everybody else in this group. That key moments in each battle.
So. Very much so, Malcolm. Again, you know, karate competition is about timing. Timing is key, and it's indicative of all aspects of our fight when it comes to karate competition. But it's no good without target. Great going there, Jordan.
The confidence coming through now, Greg.
Very much so. He needs the target. He needs to get that target and timing together.
Yes.
Again, great timing.
Strutting his stuff there when he scored.
Good.
Yeah, goes to the crowd as well. He's loving this, and he's taken it.
Great fight there, Jordan. Well done. Great job there by the referees.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, through to the semi-finals and only 2 bouts away from possible 10K. Jordan and Chuck Crew, I'll say the Red Panthers, few moments, you catch the ball and you took the points, here you are again. We're all here playing our hearts out. Instead, you guys also instead us. And Jordan again, in terms of confidence, he's happy with the way he started this group. You seem to be, as I said, right in the zone straight away. Jordan, 2 final questions. One, Group 2 coming up next. Anybody you want to face in the semi-final there, or does it not matter to you? It doesn't matter. In there, there's only one winner. It doesn't matter who's right. It's going to be the same as last year. Having said that, you are just 2 bouts away from that possibility. How does that feel? I've got to focus on the first one first. You know, if I start underestimating that person in the semi-final already, I've already lost. So, let's just see what Group 2 does. We'll take it from there. Ladies and gentlemen, one last time for Jordan as he gets to the semi-finals.
How are you doing?